Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about getting all of your work for your externship portfolio put together and submitted for grading. So right now we are on the Moodle page for your externship course, and I'm going to take you down to topic 4, which is the externship manual. Now at this point I'm going to assume that you're at the end of your externship, all of your work is completed, and you're ready to submit. So I'm assuming you have all 3 of your essays completed, your recipes for all 5 dishes, that you've done the costing in the 2-in-1 form for the two of those dishes. Your costing analysis has been signed by your chef and scanned and uploaded. You also have your menu scanned and uploaded, and your midterm and final evaluations have been printed out, signed by chef, and scanned into your desktop. Your verification letter from your site also has to be collected and signed off and scanned into your computer, and your thank you letter as well. So at this point all of these things should be saved as PDFs on your laptop or computer, and I would suggest that you maybe put them neatly in a folder all together so it'll be easy for us to upload. If you have not done that, I would say pause the video right here, go ahead and save everything as a PDF, and then return to this part of the video. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the links below, and we are going to click on the externship portfolio template. This is going to take you directly to a template that's been created by the faculty with all of the different components we are looking for you to submit to us, so we can look at those and grade them and issue you a grade for externship. Okay, so what I want you to do, instead of working directly in the template, is copy this and save it as your own. That's going to be the important first step. So I would suggest saving it with your name, and label it that it is your portfolio for externship. And then you're going to hit the Save button. Now it allows you to edit the content. So we try to make this as easy as possible. You'll see for every component that we have, there's a little box, and each box has this little gear, this little settings gear, and when you click on it, it allows you to upload the document we're looking for. Right now for the verification letter, we're going to hit the file bar, and it lets you browse through your computer and find that document. So I have all the things saved as PDFs here. I'm going to choose verification letter, and that just connects it right to there, and I'm going to hit save, and you will see that Mahara just loads your verification letter right there, and it's on letterhead and has the hours and weeks that were worked, and it is signed by someone on site. Okay, the next one are your recipes. So I'm going to use that little gear button again, and I'm going to go to my file, and I'm going to browse for recipe 1. So recipe for dish 1 is here. Now I actually know this is a key lime pie, so maybe under recipes I actually want to identify that. Key lime tart is actually what it is, and so I can save it like that. So now my key lime tart is there, and what I see in the recipe is it has the name of the dish, the yield, so when I make this recipe exactly as it is, how many servings will I get, and it has all of the ingredients and amounts. Then we have the methods, and what you'll see for the methods is all of the components have their own sub-recipe. So there's the key lime mix, there is the meringue that goes on the top, there's the mango sauce, and then we're putting it together with baking it, and then how we plate it for the guest. There's the picture of the item. Okay, so for my costing, I'm going to go back to here, choose File, Browse, just be patient with my computer. Whoop. Okay, and I see my costing for dish 1 is here, and for consistency for the grading faculty, I think what I'm going to do is put the key lime tart costing. Now what you'll see in the costing sheet is this is the 2-in-1 form. It's saved as a PDF, so it just loads right up there. And the key lime tart is here, and each sub-recipe has its own costing, right? So here is the filling for the inside of the key lime. Here is the Swiss meringue that goes on the top. This is the mango sauce, etc. Okay? The next dish, dish number 2, I'm going to go to the little gear, I'm going to go to File, click on Browse, and I will go to Recipes for Dish 2. This is vanilla cheesecake. Okay, here's the center part of the cheesecake, the graham cracker crust, the berry compote, and all the toppings. So you'll see they each have the methods delineated in the recipe, and there's the picture at the bottom. And in the costing, my second costing was on the cheesecake. So when I go to File and I go to Browse and I choose my costing dish 2, I did this before, so cheesecake costing, you'll see the 2-in-1 forms for all of the components. Let me just go up to the top and you'll see what I'm talking about. So here's the cake itself. So you have the batter, the graham cracker crust, all the toppings, and they all have their sub-recipes following. Okay? I have a couple more dishes, so I'm just going to quickly run through this and add the other ones. So we have dish 3. We just choose it and save it. I'm going to do the same for dish 4. File, Browse, dish 4, and save. And my last dish 5. Now I'm doing plated desserts because this sample is for pastry, but if you're a culinary student, you may be doing 5 entrees. And the same thing, they'll each have a sub-recipe. So it may be a protein, a veg, and a starch are your sub-recipes instead of this, which is giving me like a filling and a crust and that sort of thing. One thing I don't want you to overlook, I just kind of whizzed past it, is right here, the costing analysis. This is a really big part of your project. So the costing analysis has a couple of different parts. I have them all loaded together and saved as a PDF. So when we save it and it loads, what you will see are all the different parts of the costing assignment. Okay. So this is your comparison sheet. In Moodle, it's called the Profitability Part 3A form, and this gives your 2 items, what it costs to make, what you're selling it for, your gross cost percentage, and what your profit is, and compares them both. This part is actually a different section in the Moodle that asks you to analyze your work. So what was your hypothesis? What was the conversation you had with your instructor? And what did you really learn from doing this assignment? And then this final page is where all those numbers come together, and it's signed off by Chef, and this is really taking into account how many you sold over the course of a week, and ultimately in that week that you were tracking this, which one sold more. So in this case, the key lime pie or the cheesecake, which made more money for the business. It looks like it was the key lime pie. So Chef is signing this, and really when Chef signs this, it's sort of telling the CIA that Chef has looked at all of the recipes that you used, that you transferred all the ingredients and amounts into the costing sheet. So when you were doing, this is how much it costs to make one serving, that's where that information came from, and this is compiling it for analysis. So it really shows a completion of a whole lot of work that you've done over the course of your externship. The next thing is the menu. So this time I'm going to load, there's 2 menus that this person had that they worked from in their externship. You may only have 1 menu that you worked on the whole time if you're in an a la carte restaurant that hasn't changed their menu. You might be at a hotel where there's a banquet menu and an a la carte menu. So I have loaded both of them here. If you're in a restaurant where the menu changes every single day, then you may have collected 5 different menus to show us that those recipes you chose were actually served on site. So that may sort of change place to place and person to person. The next 3 things are your essays. These do not have any requirement of signature, so it's very likely that this was just a Word document that you saved as a PDF, and we're just going to load those up. There's the first one. So this is typically 3 pages. Okay, and then the second one, just as a reminder, the first 2 essays you choose a topic, so it's a good idea for you to indicate to the faculty which topic you chose at the top of your essay so they can refer back to that. And of course the third essay that we are loading is your self-evaluation. So that's really your reflective piece where you're talking about your experience on externship and you're sharing those things with us, whether that's about the food, about the people you've worked with, how this may have changed your ideas about what you want to do in your future, career-wise or study-wise. Okay, the thank you letter is just you sharing with us a copy of the letter that you wrote to your site, thanking them for taking the time and training you and allowing you to work with them, and it's just a really professional thing to do. So there's no signature from anyone else expected on this except from you. So that's the letter that you share with us that you have sent to your chef or to your site. Okay, now the next 2, the last 2 pieces here, super important obviously. The first one is your midterm evaluation. You probably got this midterm evaluation on week 7 or 8. It's a blank form that was given to you in the Moodle, and you've printed it out, and Chef has signed it and offered his or her evaluation of you. So here are the 10 questions on a scale of 1 to 10. How did you do? Chef has signed this. The midterm is worth 10 points. This final evaluation that we're going to load is worth 40 points. So even though they are the same 10 questions, it's important for you to know that the final evaluation, which is done at week 15, is the one that we're going to weigh the most heavily when we grade your work. Okay, perfect. So there's your midterm evaluation, your final evaluation, thank you letter, your 3 essays, your 5 dishes with all the sub-recipe components, and your costing for each dish and the costing analysis and verification. Mahara does a great thing that it saves it as you go, so you don't have to worry about losing your work. It's kind of a cloud, so it's always going to be there and available to you. Now what we're going to do is go back to Moodle and submit it. Easiest way to do that